In this lesson, we'll talk about the subdivision process that happens to our 3D models in ZBrush so that we can add that high resolution detail. So here we have lesson 04 start, and this is just a bust of a head, but you can see here if I turn on the polyframe button that we can see the individual polygons, and they're fairly large. Okay, so you can see here we've got the quads located here, and we can clearly see those, and there's not a lot of detail that we can add to this model with this size of polygon there. And so we want to increase the resolution or the number of polygons in this model so we can start to add that detail. Okay, but we don't want to lose the ability to come back and modify this. And so this is where our multi-level subdivision comes in. And let's take a look at what that looks like. So right now, if we hover over our Z tool, we can see that we have 872 polygons that make up this particular model and this particular subtool. And so we want to start to increase that number to create a high resolution version, to start doing some sculpting on this. So we're going to go down under the tool palette to the geometry subpalette. And right now the upper portion is grayed out, so we can't do anything to this. This doesn't have any subdivision levels on it currently. So what we need to do is subdivide this to create those levels. So to do that, we can either hit Control-D on our keyboard or hit the divide button, and that will subdivide our mesh. You can see how it gets smoother. And you can also see that each of the polygons that we looked at, they've actually been divided into 4 polygons. So where we had 1 quad polygon, we now have 4. So if we take a look at the number, it's actually changed by about 4 times. So 3,488 polygons is what we're working with now. And this will definitely allow us to get higher control, more control over the smaller portions of our model, so getting more control. But we may not feel that that's enough. So we can go ahead and subdivide that again. And you can see that as we subdivide, that we have now these layers. I'll do it again. So now we have 4 layers of subdivision that we can work with. Okay. Now we're not stuck with this layer. At any time we can scroll back down to our lowest level. Okay. We can also, if we want to hit D on our keyboard, that will kind of take us up the levels. If we want to hit Shift D, that will take us down the levels. And we can also hit these buttons here if we want to do it that way as well. Okay. Now at any time we want to get rid of a level, let's go up to level 3. If we want to delete all the levels that are higher than the current level, we can choose delete higher. Same thing goes for delete lower if we want to make this our new level 1. Just keep in mind, if you delete lower, you're going to lose the ability to go back to that lowest subdivision level with those polygons that are nice and easy to manage there. Okay. So the idea here is that we take our low resolution mesh, subdivide that to an appropriate level. We take a look here at level 3, we're up to about 14,000 polygons. With ZBrush we can get into the millions of polygons here. And so the idea is to take it up to an appropriate level that you need to get the detail in. So if we take a look at this bust sculpt, we can see that we have the same mesh. We turn off our polyframe, but now we have the detail sculpted into it. So in this case, this particular one is about 4 million polygons. So we've taken the mesh from down here at level 1, where we've got 872 polygons, all the way up to 7 levels, and we'll just take a look at what some of those levels look like. So here at level 2, we're able to create some a little bit of shape here, but we're still not getting that much detail in our model. Go up to level 3, we can really start to get some of those larger wrinkles, but you can see it's very faceted, so still not getting a lot, but we're able to define that a little bit more. Here at level 4, we're really starting to get into some higher level detail here, but you can still very jagged, not very smooth. Here at level 5, we're really starting to get some smooth detail. As we move up to level 6, we're starting to get more of the skin wrinkling and detailing there. And then moving up to level 7, we're able to get some really subtle detail. Okay, so that's the idea. The changes that we make at these different levels will affect how the other levels look. So for instance, if I have this model and I wanted to make a large scale modification to the head, I could come down here to level 1 and make that modification with a few polygons here, and those changes will be propagated up through the levels up here. So that will kind of follow along. So it's kind of a great way to work because you have a lot of control. You can go to different levels and work from there, make those changes, go up to your higher levels to make the higher level adjustments here. Okay, and you can see how we can get a really large number of polygons here at level 6. The next level down, we're at about 890,000 polygons. So a lot of geometry going on there. Okay, so that's going to be found under your geometry subpalette within your tool palette. And just keep in mind, you've got D to move up the levels, Shift D to move down the levels, and then Control D to add new levels. And then you also have the ability to delete particular levels if you don't want those. Just be careful of doing that. Okay, so now that we know a little bit about subdividing our models and how that subdividing works based on the levels workflow here, let's go ahead in the next lesson and take a look at some of the brushes that we can use to actually do some sculpting on our 3D meshes as we subdivide those. Okay, so we'll go ahead and take a look at that in the next lesson.